Hi there. I just wanted to make a quick video that shows you how to use labels in Greenfoot. Labels are very powerful because it allows you to put text on the screen and get input from a user as well if you use it in conjunction with the GetKey function. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go up to the top and I'm going to import a class. What we've been doing so far is we've been going over here and right-clicking, but we can import classes as well. You may have seen that already if you've imported the counter or the timer. Those are the two that are in the Space Invaders tutorial that I've posted. But there's also this thing called a label. Now if I hit OK, you'll see the label goes over here. But this isn't like the other actors that we've put in our world. I'm not going to just click and drag it into here. I want to add a label to the screen. I'm going to do that in my world. So in here, I'm going to put add object, and I'm going to put new label with two brackets like that. And let's put our label, say, right in the middle of the screen. So 300, 200. Half of that, half of that. And I'll put a semicolon. And what you'll notice is I'm going to get an error, and the error is under here. When I make a new label, I have to include a couple of different, what we call arguments. I have to include information. The computer needs to know, hey, what do you want to put in the label, and how big do you want the font to be? So I'm going to put hello, and let's choose a font size of 24 so it's nice and big so we can see it. And if I click off of here, then what you're going to see is hello. Now, the default is to have the outline of the label in black and the inside is white. I don't love that. And so what I do is I go in here and I change the fill color of the label to be black. Now typically I don't fool around in the code of the label. This was not written by me. This comes with Greenfoot and it's not something I want to mess around with. But making that little change just does that. So we're not hurting anything and I think it looks better. Now, if I want to make different things appear in the label, like if I want to get user input and make it appear on the screen, it's not too hard to do that. However, where do I put it? I don't put it in the label because the label is not actually acting. Like it's not like I don't want to put an act method inside the label. The label is a class that's been given to me to use. So what I want to do is go into the My World area. And if I put code in here, this is what we call the constructor, and the constructor happens only one time. So if I put code in here to get keys from a user, this is going to happen only when the world is created. I want something that's going to happen over and over and over again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an act method inside of the world code. So the world code goes from here all the way down to here. So inside I've got a constructor, and now I'm putting in an act method that's going to detect a key, and then I'm going to put the key in the label. Now, like I said, good programmers will often use the internet for a reference, and so what I did is I just paused my video and I went off and I looked up Greenfoot GetKey because I did forget for a minute exactly how we do that, and I found a code sample. I'm going to copy this line and I'm going to put it right here in the act method. And what happens here is every single time the act method runs, which is again over and over and over again, this says get a key from the user. Now, if the user doesn't type anything, we don't want to do anything. So I'm going to say, well, if the key is not null. And this is very similar to collision detection, if you've seen any of those videos yet. It's a double negative, but essentially what we're saying is, hey, let's get a key. If the user actually typed something, then we want to do something. So what I want to do is I want to put whatever the user typed into the label. Now how do I do that? Right here I put a label on the screen. I'm going to take that back for 1 second. I'm going to cut that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and I'm going to declare that I'm going to make a label called L. And that is going to be equal to that label that I made. So essentially what I'm doing on this line is I'm saying not only do I want to make a label that says hello and has a font size of 24, I want to be able to refer to this as L. And that way, down here, I can put L dot, and then I hit Control Space, and these are all of the things that I can do with the label. One of those things is set value. And so if I click on set value, I can put key right there. So again, I'm saying, let's get a key from the user. If the key is not null, meaning they actually hit something, we want to put that value into the label. And right here I have an error because I have to put L. I want to create this label up here, and in the world's constructor I want to put it on the screen. Okay, so now I should be good to go. So I run this, and you can see it says hello to start, but when I hit a key, it changes to F, E, R, and now the keys that I'm typing are actually appearing on the screen. Now, how would I take that and maybe make it so that when I type multiple keys, they appear on the screen without going away? And that's not too hard either. What I would do is I would make myself an empty string. Now you might be thinking, what is a string? We haven't necessarily talked about that. Well, we've talked about integers and we've talked about variables, and this essentially is a string is let's think of it like a variable for now that holds a string of characters. So in other words, it's kind of like a word in the English language. Think of it that way. Hello is a string. The number 24 though is an integer. So a string of characters. And I'm going to make a string of characters called S, and that's going to start as being blank. But what I want to do is every time I add a key, every time I hit a key, I'm going to go S plus equals key. And that line right there, which looks kind of complicated, all it says is let's add the new keystroke to S. Now I just realized I made a mistake, sorry. This line here, and I'll just say it one more time, it adds the last keystroke to S, so it's going to build a string. I only want to do this if a key actually got hit, so I'm going to put that in here. Okay, so if somebody hits a key, we are going to add the key to the string of characters that we're making, and we want to put the string of characters into the label. All right, let's try it again. So we should start seeing hello. Now I run it, and I hit R. Now I'm going to hit E, and then I'm going to hit D. And I just spelled the word red. And that's how we can get multiple characters to appear on the screen. So I just paused the video and made a little change to my game. You can see that there's a different background, but that's not what I'm talking about. If I run my little program here, it goes blank right away, and then if I start typing in, I'll type my name. So I type my name, and then I hit the backspace key, and it goes away. And then I can type something else. So basically I've coded one of my keys, mine is the backspace key, that kind of makes it go away so I can start again. So my challenge to you for this little optional assignment, I want you to do everything that I did and see if you can get keys appearing on the screen, but I also want you to see if you can do what I just did. See if you can figure out, how did I do that? How did I make it so that when I hit a certain key, it made everything go away so the user could start typing other stuff? Okay? Good luck to you.